Hey friends, I hope you're doing well. I had a pretty good day today. Just wanted to give you an update. I spent most of the day relaxing, although I did get some work done. I was working on some school stuff, but the highlight of my day was I got to watch the the season finale of Star Trek Picard on CBS All Access, which, by the way, is free to view right now if you use the code GIFT on CBS All Access. But I got to watch it, and I spent a good couple hours of my day crying because I was just so unbelievably moved by the entire episode. And hopefully, at some point, I'll get a chance to review it. But I'm not in a space where I can like assemble professional video recording equipment. So I've been relying solely on using my phone as my camera. But I really enjoyed it, and I will have to say that the only downside to my day was just dealing with very frustrating Star Trek fans on Twitter. I've gotten to the point where I'm just getting really exhausted of toxic fan bases. I've talked about this at length with regard to the Godzilla fan base, but unfortunately, this type of toxicity also permeates the Star Trek fan base, which you wouldn't think would be the case, considering Star Trek is pretty progressive and you'd think that the fans are, pretty progressive too. However, that is not the case. I kind of got in a Twitter debate with another YouTuber who is much larger than me, and she was expressing frustration over a character being depicted as LGBTQ plus. And of course, I, called her out on it. And then, of course, she retweeted me, and then a bunch of her followers were responding as well. And keep in mind, like, I'm used to this kind of discourse because a lot of people often partake in very dismissive and discriminatory behavior when it comes to LGBTQ plus people and representation in the media. And I've seen this happen with other Star Trek series as well, like people getting angry that, oh, well, why do we have to appeal to um, this virtue signaling culture? Why do we have to, have representation? Why should it be forced? And my singular response to that is, well, LGBTQ plus people have had to, deal with, well, not deal with, but be exposed to heterosexual representation continuously. Why shouldn't we have that same level of representation in our favorite shows and movies, so on and so forth? So, of course, I got in a debate with this person, and eventually they just stopped replying anyway. But I'm probably going to do another video talking about it. I did take some screen captures because I mean, at a certain point, I would like to use the comments in order to prove the point that I'm trying to make, and that there is a lot of very toxic culture in a lot of fandoms. I hope that at some point we can veer away from that type of thing, but the truth is, I don't know if we will, so long as there are people who are made uncomfortable by things like LGBTQ plus people. So people will say, well, I'm not, like, I'm okay with LGBTQ plus people, but their representation shouldn't be forced. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that there is a right and a wrong way to include representation. However, I do think it's very troubling when people like that are so quick to criticize instead of actually be like, hey, I'm glad that there's representation, but here is what they could have done in order to more effectively include it, as an example of some decent, well thought criticism. But who am I? I'm just this lowly, small commentator. But anyway, thank you for listening to me rant for a few minutes. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and let me know how you've been doing. I hope that you're hanging in there. All right. Have a lovely rest of your night. Bye.